All right, and we are live and on. So, welcome everybody to today's session. I just want to do a quick introduction of Chintan, and then he'll get started. Um, I was actually introduced to Chintan by Dharmendra Rai, who's a Mumbai's first mind map trainer, and he's done I think a whole bunch of mind mapping training sessions. But yeah, that's how I got connected with him. He has a pretty large network called TMI Community, which has about 1,200 plus members now. I'm also part of that group, and I've done a couple of webinars with TMI itself, and that's when I learned about Chintan's doing this thing on blockchain. So I said, I have an audience myself who I keep posting all kinds of webinars, especially if it's related to technology. I'm even, you know, more pro on doing that. So I will be just sending you his LinkedIn profile, but I'll just give you some of the highlights on the chat itself. Here we have panelists and attendees. Here you go. Okay, so you guys can take a look at his LinkedIn profile and connect with him directly if you like. He has, by the way, a ton of certifications and degrees, even from the University of California, Berkeley. He's a thought leader. He's also an influence in blockchain and 5G. Today's topic, of course, is going to be on introduction to blockchain and its application. So that's why I noticed some of the people over here are from the technology background. But it's interesting that I just got to know quickly that it's actually for everybody. Anyway, and there are a larger set, not just people in the IT field. So anyway, let's not waste too much time and let's get started. So let me introduce you here. Okay, Chintan, you are, I think, viewable and go for it. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Indeed, it's my pleasure to be here, and thanks, Rishi. I mean, it's really a great morning today, great weather, and happy to meet all of you here. So yes, this is the topic we all should be discussing, and I firmly believe that early adopters are natural winners. So that is where I encourage everyone and all tech enthusiasts to pick up a technology and start deep diving into it, because now the time is such that doctors are learning how to code, finance professionals are learning how to improve algorithms, and programmers are learning healthcare and nuances of manufacturing processes and all. So, on a macro level, if we see that the entire sector is merging, this is the era of convergence where manufacturing industry people are learning technology. They are taking benefit of Industry 4.0. Fintech people, finance guy, bankers are learning technology and algorithm, artificial intelligence to give you better services. Retail industry is implementing AI in a very big way. So irrespective of any industry, even construction, now connected construction is the new phenomena. And a lot of new technologies are being implemented in construction even. So that is where it becomes necessary for all of us to learn two things. One is we must be aware of technology trends in the time to come so that we can align ourselves. We should be aware how these technologies would impact or benefit our industry segment. It is also essential for all of us to keep our knowledge updated. I mean, gone are the days when people used to graduate and retire, and then they hardly used to attend any webinar and all. Now is the time that all of us should at least invest around 5% of our annual income to for the upkeep of our knowledge, and that is where I'm a firm believer that we must be aware and keep ourselves updated about the technologies in the time to come. Now coming to my second point is, apart from learning technology trends, please pick up a technology and master it and then start deep diving it. And then this is what we are going to discuss in today's interaction. And let's. I mean, I'm pretty excited to share my views and have a discussion here. So thanks Rishi, thanks for having me here.
Yes, great. So I guess I have a few questions to start with. First one, I wanted to understand a little bit of how you got involved in blockchains. Can you tell us about your journey? What got you on this?
Yeah, sure. So my journey started in blockchain ecosystem in year 2016. At that point of time, I used to work with Tata Group, and the group undertook a exercise. They had a team of all various company representatives, and then there was a team which was made to study various technologies. So I participated in blockchain because that is something, the keyword excited me, block and chain. And other thing, probably I did a bit of Googling and then stayed, understood that yes, this is the technology. Probably it can make a good impact on positive impact on our society. And third thing is probably uh, in my early career days, I used to love Foxpro, Oracle, and also kind of database guy. I once upon a time I also did my MCSD. So that is something on Oracle and Visual Basic mastery. So that is where I thought that yes, I mean this is something exciting, and let me have a hold of this. So I started my journey as a member of the cross-functional team, did a lot of research, and in as a result of that research, I I learned the basics of blockchain. And after learning that in 2017, I thought that I'll have to benchmark my knowledge, get a formal education. So that is where I pursued a course from Oxford University, and I formally took what do you call executive education course from Oxford, and then become an alumni of Oxford. So that is something I did just to get a formal endorsement on my knowledge. Then afterwards, yes, definitely no looking back. When you are in love with something, you definitely keep on doing some or other thing every time. So I have been vocal in the blockchain ecosystem. In 2019 and 20, I have been recognized by, recognized as a, global thought leader and influencer. So I have been on the top 50 list, and month on month I have maintained that position since 2019. So that is where I have been contributing to the ecosystem, I would say.
Okay, so great. Now, tell me one thing. A couple of things come to my mind. One is just a follow up on this question, which is when people hear the word blockchain, they immediately think of cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. But the applications are beyond cryptocurrencies. I'd like to know if you can touch upon a little bit about that, and then just tell us why for the last 2 3 years now, this is being a big talk. So can you just cover those two areas?
Yeah, sure, definitely. So first one is blockchain would be transforming various industry segments, be it manufacturing, fintech, you take edtech, you take healthcare. All these sectors are going to immensely get benefited. So when I say this, on the benefit part, you would get to see new use cases which wouldn't have been feasible or possible with the current technology stack. When I say this, I can give certain example. Like for energy sector, with use of blockchain, you can enable trading of energy. So when I say this, all of us are aware that uh, government of Maharashtra and couple of other state governments as well have enabled dual metering. So it means that if you have a spare space on your rooftop or in your wherever you are in rural area somewhere, you can install solar panels, you can generate energy, and then you can connect that energy with your regular meter, and then that meter would actually try to monitor that what kind of energy you are generating, what kind of energy you are consuming. And as and when, it will keep on telling and then arriving at delta. So in winter time, where your energy consumption is not much, I mean, we in Western region probably we don't use room heaters, so our energy consumption is relatively low in winter time or in monsoon. And at that point of time, it may happen so that we may get a surplus income from these solar panels because the energy generated would be higher than the energy consumed. So that is where instead of paying the bill, the electricity company would pay you. So these are the kind of scenarios it may happen. Now this is in the first layer of the use case. But if you look at the second layer, when in the time to come, probably from 3 years from now, most of us would have an electric vehicle, be it two-wheeler or a four-wheeler. And at that point of time, if you are traveling to any area, and then if you need to recharge your vehicle, at that point of time, all you can do is you can give I mean, the charging point in two ways. One is either monetary part, so you can pay the traditional currency or maybe cryptocurrency, or you can pay them by the energy what equivalent amount of energy what you have generated and transfer that specific energy unit to their account. So these are the kind of use cases, and this especially would come in place when you are like, I mean, Rishi, I'm sure Rishi is going to have a Tesla, and Rishi is driving Tesla from Mumbai to, Pune. I mean, he's traveling to, Lonavala, Khandala, and then he decides that, okay, fine, let me go and have some Puneri missile and have say hello to one of my friends. And that is where he extends his trip, and then he needs a recharge, and that is where you would be able to pay using such kind of use cases. Other alternative use cases are in the edtech ecosystem, where we are soon going to have digital degrees. So these are the kind of online verifiable certificates which cannot be altered or edited by anyone. So this is going to be a pretty exciting use case. One more use case coming our way in a big, I mean, with big announcement is our healthcare IDs. So unlike our Aadhaar card and all, we are going to have health ID. This health ID will have history of all patients. So the benefit is comes when you try to put all your health records at one place digitally. Then the system is able to generate analytics. The system is able to run algorithms on the data of the patient and generate analytics, and then we have a better insight of the patient, the tendency, and what kind of treatment and care is required right now and in future. So these are the kind of new use cases, and that is where the importance of blockchain is increased multifold. If we understand that the defining technologies of last decade was SMAC. All of us are aware of these keywords. SMAC, SMAC. SMAC means S means social, M means mobile, A for analytics, and C for cloud. Then uh, blockchain is the technology for the next decade. So that is where I would like to make a statement that for in the time from 2020 to 2030, blockchain is the technology which would be driving other technologies. When I say this, as and when blockchain converges with other technology like artificial intelligence or IoT, new use cases are seen. So when I see this, let me give one interesting example. All of us have subscribed to our what you call our mobile data plan has got around 1 GB to 1.5 GB to 2 GB a day limit. And at times, what happens is that you are not consuming entire 2 GB. and you use around 800 MB of the data during the daytime. However, you would like to use 200 MB and then the rest 1 GB is available. So what can you do? What are the probable things you can do with this 1 GB of the data? So with blockchain, you can actually monetize this available capacity and on. So basically, technically speaking, you have already paid money to the telecom operator for this 2 GB. You know that you are not going to use 1 GB. You already have 1 GB available. Now, if you are trading 1 GB of data with someone for certain, maybe some brownie points, some discounts on the next pizza order or anything, probably why won't you do that? You would definitely be happy to do that thing. So these are the kind of use cases which we would see in the time to come. So that is where I would say that yes, blockchain is a technology which is gaining momentum. In a recent study published by NASCOM, they have got four key highlights. First one is that 50 plus countries are actively working to develop and adopt blockchain. Other thing is more than 50% of state governments have conducted a pilot using blockchain. So government sector is a leading adopter of blockchain. What government is planning to introduce digital degrees, planning to automate a reconciliation of taxes that will bring in speed to the businesses. They are planning to digitize land records. So this is how the entire sector is moving. Uh, then, because we are already having the highest concentration of youngsters, young population, uh, so that is where we are going to have advantage. On the other side, we are already a software a superpower. So that is where India can be a blockchain service provider to the world, and all of us have got certain role to play in this. And so that is how we are hearing blockchain, and blockchain is going to hit us more faster than what we think.
I see. I see. Great. So I have one question over here. Um, you know, everybody, when they see the word blockchain, it appears like just people in the IT field can be involved in this, right? But if you look at the blockchain ecosystem, is it possible for other people to also get associated with this, or is it just the IT thing and that's it?
No, no, no. So it's not so. All of us have got our space in the ecosystem. As I said, that early adopters are natural winners. So the entire ecosystem is so huge that all of us can transition and become a part of this ecosystem. We can learn blockchain and then we can diversify into this ecosystem. When I say this, there are, I mean, the way I see is there are four types of professions. One is technical. So if you are a technical guy, then you can be a strategist, a blockchain strategist. You can be a blockchain consultant. You can be a blockchain content writer. You can also become a project manager in blockchain ecosystem. You can do certain Q and QC quality aspects. You can be a quality engineer. You can be a UI UX designer, so that you can also design UI UX for the new systems, new use cases which are being built. On the other side, if you are into business ecosystem right now, then you can engage with blockchain and the ecosystem by being a blockchain sales or marketing guy. You can be a commercial deal architect, wherein you would be, trying to guard the business model of of a certain corporate. Also, you can be a legal expert who would be working in the blockchain ecosystem. You can be a expert on smart contracts, and this is where all of us have got a place in the ecosystem. If you are a developer, as we said, IT guys, then you can be a blockchain. You can transition to be a blockchain developer. You can be a blockchain architect, or you can be a blockchain network administrator. However, on the fourth side, if you are on to academia, then you can be a blockchain trainer, you can be a blockchain content creator, you can also write blockchain protocols, certain algorithms. You can be a blockchain researcher or a cryptocurrency maker, even. So, this is where we all have got a role in the ecosystem, and learning blockchain is the first step to enter this ecosystem. So that is where we are.
Great. This is wonderful information, and I there are some questions that have started coming in. So there's already one that's come in, which I'll take, and I think I'll use this opportunity to ask that question also, and also ask the other people attendees who are there to please go ahead and use the Q&A option to ask questions. So the first one, and then after these questions, I would like to know how people can get in touch with you if they want to learn more on and how to they can benefit from this, right, and be part of this ecosystem. So the first question, I guess this was when you spoke earlier. Uh, the question is it like a digital barter?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, but digital barter at scale.
I,
So you can. So it is like, I mean, if you are not having a platform, then probably you are not able to do it. But the platform actually enables and it gives you a choice that in trade of 1 GB of data, would you like to have 25% of discount on your next pizza order, or would you like to have a 50% discount on your next haircut, or would you like to use those reward points to buy fuel? What is it that you would like to do? So that is how the new use cases would work.
okay, great.
Am I answering your question?
Yeah.
Uh,
So if there's a follow-up question, go ahead and ask. I think it answered your question, but let's keep it open for them to ask follow-up questions as well. Okay. So I'm just going to mark this as answered, and we'll go to the next question from a good friend of mine, Gaurang Bhatt. What are the resources we can study to get into blockchain ecosystem?
okay. So there is a lot of material which is available on blockchain. There are various courses, online courses available on blockchain.
Which one do you
However,
recommend? Like there's so much, the internet has too much information. I think Gaurav says, "Mere ko wo wala bata." The best.
acha, ha, ha, ha. So that's where I'm coming to. However, there is a lot of information, and that information blast is already there on the internet. But then I am a firm believer of education, wherein you have a teacher, you have a person to talk to, so that at least
Structured
you
way of
can
learning that.
correlate and then answer. I am not a promoter of server to human education, where you just put a recording on the server and keep playing, and people, have their own interpretation on the go. And I'm not trying to criticize, but however,
Thank you. Because I have a school.webnews.in with pre-recorded courses, but we're trying to do a blended model
ha ha
because
ha. So there are for certain cases, like, I mean, the one what you have for keeping your, how can you achieve a zero pendency on your inbox. So
yeah,
these are the kind of courses which can be learned from a server. If
correct,
you're trying to make some pizza, pasta, macaroni, then these dishes can be learned from a server.
correct,
And when you are trying to diversify, then you need a human to talk to, who would help
okay.
you and handhold you, and then help you customize your learning path.
I guess we'll have to
So
wait
that
for
is
AI.
where, sorry,
AI will probably able
sorry.
to replace that at some
Yeah,
point in time.
definitely. So AI would be there, but then all of us have got a distinct background. Like, I mean, yesterday I was discussing blockchain with a group of lawyers, So these lawyers were from Supreme Court, and then they wanted to understand how blockchain can impact.
Oh, wow.
Next week, I'm going to meet a couple of
Sorry, is it my internet? Let me just do a quick check on the chat. I don't know whether we lost him or. Okay, I'm going to open up the.
that how blockchain can benefit.
Oh, sorry. I think there was a connection problem at my end.
Oh,
I,
okay.
can you just? I don't know whether the people heard it or whether it was just me that didn't heard. I'm going to see if I can open up the chat. Guys, can you guys confirm if you heard Chintan over the last say 20 seconds? Oh, okay. Gaurang is confirming that yes. So it was
Okay.
me. I was the problem.
So that is where I mean, first one is the foundation layer, which is introduction to blockchain, and then there is a customization that okay, fine, blockchain for fintech is different from blockchain in education ecosystem or for manufacturing or for healthcare
Right.
because the language what we speak for that specific industry is different from each other,
Hmm.
and that is how a human helps you to correlate and understand the technology better so that at least you would be able to visualize the use cases and then take a lead from there. So that is where I have introduced a course myself, and I mean I recommend everyone to go for this course.
And when do you conduct these courses? Is it
So
like
I
a
conduct
schedule or
this module every fortnight. This is likely. I mean, I just had one module on 13th of December. Typically, this course is something which I conduct every fortnight. It is held on Sundays so that all of us are able to participate. And other thing is that I conduct this course in the second half of Sunday. So in the evening hours. So after you have your afternoon siesta, all of you can
it is,
join.
how long in terms of number of hours?
So this is a 2 hour course, but usually it gets stretched to around three and a half hour.
Wow. Okay, so those who are ready have dinner ready with you.
Ha ha. So what happens is
Have dinner course along.
no. So
Have
what
dinner.
happens is I also have in this course I have I teach people that how to examine whether blockchain can be used for this specific use case or not.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Great. So, Gaurang, I guess I've just put the LinkedIn profile for Chintan's to for you to connect with him and find out when the next batch is. And in case you find his course interesting, you might want to enroll for it. It's happening anyway twice a month, so that's great. Great. I'm going to mark this as answered. If you have a follow-up question, please do ask. Next question is wow, we've got 6 questions coming. The questions are slightly increasing while we were busy
Yeah,
talking.
definitely.
Okay, is it going to replace any existing technology, blockchain technology?
It will not replace. It will, I would say, enhance.
That's a great question. Actually, I really like that question. मैं change करूँ कि नहीं? मेरा technology safe है या is that going to be replaced
Ha,
in
ha.
time?
So it is not going to replace. It will get enhanced
Oh, okay. So whatever existing tech is there, it will get added on top of that. I see.
on top of it,
I
side
see.
by side. So it is not going to replace any legacy tech because
Mm-hmm.
all of us have got investment in legacy tech.
This
No
is an
one.
add-on technology. This is more
Ha,
like
so
you enhance your existing platform by adding this into
adding
your.
this. Yes.
Nice. Excellent. Great. If you have a follow-up question, do ask. I think that's a great question you asked there. Great. I don't know who the person is, anonymous. So, okay. Next question from Bhaskar. Cloud providers are providing blockchain as a service. How is job opportunities for blockchain networking?
Blockchain networking.
Yeah.
So yes, definitely. So cloud service providers are offering blockchain as a service, and mastering blockchain as well as cloud definitely helps. So people, there are two ways. One is people who would be learning blockchain. There are people who are experts in cloud. But when experts in cloud will start learning blockchain, then definitely the ecosystem will get benefit. The use cases would definitely multiply. And as far as I suggest that yes, cloud providers have got important role to play, but on the other side, there is very less of education material available.
Mm.
So if you look at AWS or Azure, then blockchain as a service, and then there is less amount of education material available. There are no trainers as such. Training courses are happening, but somewhere in Atlanta in some odd time, and that are also face to face, as well as they charge around 5 to 8 thousand US dollars for a 4 day course.
Okay.
So this is where that also has got some limiting factors.
So, Bhaskar, I think a good idea would be to connect with Chintan. I put his LinkedIn profile URL on the chat. Hopefully, you can connect with him and then see one on one. Maybe you can take a look at exactly what is your networking niche, and then therefore how he can guide you. Hopefully, save the 4-5 thousand US dollars to get learn these things so that you can beef up your tech skills to get ready for net blockchain networking. Great. If you do have a follow up question, do ask that. I'm going to mark this as answered. Gaurang, I'm an IT consultant. Okay, so Gaurang had asked what are the resources we can study to get into blockchain ecosystem. I'm an IT consultant, so basically, so I think it was a connected question. Um, okay, I'm going to mark that as answered. Um, and Gaurang has also said I've sent you a request on LinkedIn. So
Oh, okay. I would be happy to accept it. I'm just not changing screens while the talk is on.
of
I
course.
would accept your connect request, and once the interaction is over, definitely. Thank you so much.
In fact, Gaurang and me, I think we go back way back in 2000. I think that's when we first connected, and we've been, in touch since then. Although we've shifted, but we've still kept in touch, like for quite some time. All right. Next question is: what is the academic criteria to get into the blockchain ecosystem? Do I need to be an engineer? Because I'm not. I already feel like answering a bit of that question. Like, dude, I'm when I joined Apple and I was hired as a system engineer, right? Of course, that was more to take care of the tech sales part of it. But I remember, so they said, "तू तो engineering किया होगा?" I said, "नहीं यार, मैं 10वीं pass हूँ." So, guys, I'm saying this on live. I finished only my 10th grade, and then I'm self-taught. After that, I remember the computer first came home. I just at that time there was no internet, right? Way back in 92, 93, we had a 286. So I told mom, I said, "Mom, I'm interested in this computer thing, whatever it is. Come at home. Let me go get some books." And I just kind of read the books and learned because I was interested. So I think, anonymous whoever you are, if you're interested, you can do it. But let Chintan respond to that question in a broader sense, whether you need to be an engineer or not.
Yes, so let me answer this question. I mean, you don't need to be IT engineer to take part into any technology ecosystem. First thing,
Hmm.
it's not just blockchain, because there are various roles where you can, use your knowledge. So there is the overall experience and there is net experience. So
Yeah,
when you say overall experience, that also helps.
yeah,
Let us take example of my friend Rishi. Rishi is a great salesperson. So
correct.
if you give him Apple products, or if you give him any other product, he will strategize the sales pitch, and then that is how he would work on.
Correct.
So
Yes.
irrespective of that, you can be a sales and marketing guy. You can be a solution developer who will just share the solution on a high level. You can be a business analyst who would capture the customer requirement and then translate it.
Right.
And then you can work in as a tutor. You can work as a content creator who will write on blockchain things. If you are really into uh, ask me anything kind of scenario and you
Right.
are enthusiast of that technology. Uh,
You can become like a Chintan.
exactly. Yes, 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 yes. And in fact, all I would say is not only for blockchain, but for any technology, all you need is passion. You need to be passionate about it. And that is where all of us have been, being a fan of technology, and we keep on learning.
Mhm.
So that is where I do not see any challenge that, yeah, if you are not an engineer, then this is not something for you.
Great. That's a great answer. I hope that answered your question. If you do have a follow-up question about your concerns on the academic part of it,
Yes.
do ask us. I'm going to mark this as answered. Again, we've got a couple questions from Gaurang. Subsequent question: is Indian businesses ready for blockchain technology? Not only large, small and medium businesses also. Yeah, this is one. And once again, repeating the subsequent question. Okay, fine. This is the same one. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to mark one as answered. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Can you respond to this one?
Yeah, sure. So definitely Indian businesses are gearing up. The large diversified business groups have already conducted blockchain pilots.
Mm.
More than 70% of Indian banks have conducted a blockchain pilot. Around 80% of healthcare companies have a blockchain pilot in the ecosystem. 50% plus industries in manufacturing have blockchain pilots. So these are the large players.
Mm.
Another thing is this MSME sector. Definitely, they would be the consumer of the technology,
Mm.
or the MSME can be a consultant to help or work for a larger player.
Okay. So basically, then what you're saying is it is for large businesses to adopt this, but everybody can play a part in it.
Exactly. So first, it becomes like, I mean, you yourself cannot be a 5G player, right?
Right. 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 Exactly. So
It's a
the tech
different
has
ball
to
game.
be large enough, like power supply, internet connectivity, land. Yeah.
But as a MSME or a startup, you can roll out a service on
Correct.
top of it.
Correct.
You cannot be a blockchain as a service provider as a MSME person. I mean, I don't discourage. It is always there. Anything starts from somewhere as an individual journey. I don't discourage, but in the time horizon of 3 to 5 years,
Yeah.
I see very less possibility.
Okay.
All of us can work on use cases. We can develop apps. Like, I mean, the way I see it, that yesterday I had interaction with couple of lawyers of Supreme Court where they are studying smart contracts. So a company or mid-size MSME company can help them take benefit of smart contracts, and then can have smart contract solutions. You
Mm.
can be a digital ID provider as well. So you can be a retailer of digital ID ecosystem wherein you would sell these digital identities. So these are the kind of use cases which are available.
So my question is this because it's a follow-up from Gaurang's question, and I think now he's triggered me to think about it. The thing I understood when blockchain started with Bitcoin, for example, the person who we don't know his real name, but Satoshi Nakamoto, who came up with the idea, they all say the guy is probably a PhD guy level, because when they saw his white paper, they said only someone with a PhD that can write like this, So we don't know who he is, but when he started it, he had to he went to forums and got people say, "Hey guys, I have this idea, right, of a software that will do this," and then one person showed interest, second person showed interest, third person showed interest, and he used his computer and their computers and the internet to power up this blockchain, right? It all started off with a few. It starts with two computers. You can't start with one computer. You have to start with two computers, and then you can have the blockchain because if mine falls back, yours is there, and then it continues. So I guess Gaurang's questions about the small and medium part is even my question to the point that at least in the case of Bitcoin, the motivation was, oh, I can generate money out of this blockchain that we're going to be part of, and then everybody will share this data, so we don't have to be dependent on one central system. like like a master visa or something like that. We can have all of our computers on the internet. Anyone fails, no problem. The other guys have the data, right? The blockchain is scattered across all the systems. So it started with less than small and medium. It was just two, three individuals that started, and then it went to a level that is beyond all of us, right? Because they made the code available, source code available. So as long as the person in the small and medium can come up with an idea like Bitcoin, and then say, okay, now let's use the blockchain technology, and as long as it has the gajar, people have to be motivated to turn on their systems or have a server ready to create this blockchain, and then I guess it work, because uh, I think that's where it makes sense, where the transparency is there, where the data is
I
across.
see
So
a huge opportunity where all of us can contribute as far as the use cases are concerned.
okay,
So our advantage is we are sitting in the city of Bollywood,
okay,
and content management and digital rights management is a huge challenge for Bollywood.
hmm,
When I say this, the creators of music, the distributors of music, and the consumers of music. So these are the three stakeholders, and there is a huge controversy as far as the sharing of royalty is concerned,
oh, okay,
right?
okay,
So it's always the kind of Javed Akhtar's and Sonu Nigam's who have been, championing this voice that they don't get the right and fair share of royalty,
yeah,
and having a platform for a fair trade of music is something it helps. I mean, why not,
hmm, hmm.
right?
All right. So, okay. Gaurav, if you've answered your question, great. If not, go for it. Ask another follow-up question. I'm going to mark this as answered. Um, Anonymous attendee. I believe cryptocurrency is not yet legal in India. How does one go about dealing in it? Do you see government of India making it legal in the near future, and how soon? I know we've overshot by 15 minutes, but
Yeah,
can
absolutely. I mean,
we'll take these last two questions that are there.
yeah,
Uh,
I'm perfectly okay to answer more as well. So,
yeah.
first thing is, I am believer of, I mean, complying the law of the land. I do not encourage anyone to trade into cryptocurrency because these are largely unregulated currencies. And when I say this, there are around 1,500 cryptocurrencies across the world which are traded on various exchanges. And then all we get is कि अच्छा ठीक है अभी 10 cent and पिछले week 15 cent था. So let me buy this, and then the game is there, and then probably you may lose money. And that is where, and the government of India doesn't have any jurisdiction over these exchanges as well as the cryptocurrency owners, and that is where government has been cautioning not to trade into such cryptocurrencies. So that is where the first part of the question. Second part of the question is yes, in near future, in the time to come, maybe by 2023, once the regulatory framework is established and it is strong enough to protect the interests of the citizen, and then have a grievances redressal mechanism around that regulation, then government may formally allow cryptocurrency. But otherwise, government until then government will not allow. And what was the third part of the question? Let me
Does
just
do you see
check it.
government of India
I
making it
believe
legal?
cryptocurrency is not yet legal in India. How does one go about dealing with it? So I do not encourage. Do you see government of India making it legal in near future? Yes, government would eventually allow once they have the regulatory framework ready to monitor the ecosystem as well as to have a grievances redressal mechanism. Until that, government will not allow, and then at all times we must comply to government guidelines. So
Yeah.
that is where I am.
The only way to go around it is to become popular, get voted, and change the law.
There are there are blockchain enthusiasts who are tweeting every day to the government.
Okay.
So one of the guys, Nishal Shetty, and he puts one tweet. He also is on a leadership team of WazirX. So India's first, they say India's first cryptocurrency exchange, and that is where they have been, requesting government with various industry references and trying to convince government, stating that why should you allow cryptocurrency? But then a single voice may take time to impact, and until there is a majority amongst the lawmakers, we are not going to have benefit.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess can I add something to this, because I've been talking about Bitcoin for a while, so um, I've stopped talking about it because of all of these issues. But I don't think the government will be motivated to make it legal. So I always think if it continues to exist, it will always be the underground kind of thing. It won't be out there in the open until, as I said, people who understand this get into politics and change it. It's hard to imagine, but that thing, or our entire system of politics changes or whatever it is. Because right now, the way I understand, and I'm saying this in a very broad sense, I'm not trying to get into the details of it, but the capitalistic system is such that they will stand to lose out on a huge deal if this comes in, because the political system, the lobbying, and the industrialists stand to gain from a system which is in control. With cryptocurrency and the blockchain, one of the things about Bitcoin and all of that is nobody gets to know who's buying what from whom and where. So therefore, there's no regulation, as Chintan was saying. We can't track who the hell is passing how much money to whom. And so, because of that, privacy being supposedly a good thing from the consumer point of view or from the seller point of view, it's a bad thing as far as people who want to know who's doing what. And therefore, it's tough for that to happen, for them to make it a legal thing. But I'm going to mark that as answer. And
However, on the other side, I mean, all we discuss is when we say cryptocurrency, we feel that it is a replacement of the traditional money.
yeah.
But if you think as kind of coins to power a use case, I just narrated a use case for music industry, and then you say, okay, fine, here is a Saregama coin, and then I will need one Saregama coin to play this music for you, and then you recharge your wallet and then you use it. That is technically and legally allowed.
Okay, I didn't know that, but I guess the reason why
So,
it's
so
such.
all I'm saying is because cryptocurrency, we think cryptocurrency is equal to cash.
Yeah, it has two faces, right?
Yes,
It has
that's
the
what I'm
face
saying.
of money and it has the face of commodity.
Commodity. So when you try to use it as a commodity, that okay, fine, here is a Saregama coin, and then to play the, a song from 1960s, and then because I've got a promotion, I will go to charge you one Saregama coin. But if you want to play latest music, some foot tapping number of recent times, then I'm going to charge you five Saregama coins for it.
Mm, mm.
So that is how one can monetize it.
Yeah.
You can be, a DRM platform can be used for monetizing your web series. And we are in a time that people would like to make a web series and then put it on Netflix and Amazon. But who knows that at one point of time, some Indian player may come up and host it for you. All you need is hosting and then marketing. That's about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, we've got one last question. Uh, what are the technical knowledge requirements for blockchain project manager in blockchain Ethereum, Hyperledger, Corda, so many? Which one to go to deep dive is the confusion? This is from Bhaskar.
Okay. So first thing is, Bhaskar, thanks for this question. We as project manager are mainly driven by our requirement of our customer. So to answer this question, I would say that this also किधर गया? Give me a moment. मेरा chat का वो question किधर चला गया?
Oh, it's Q&A. It's got
Q&A कितने थे? I click on some other icon. So we are mainly driven by the requirements from our customer. That customer, if customer wants Ethereum, then definitely we'll have to champion Ethereum and then blend our project management skills with it and all. And if it is Corda, then we have to go for Corda and likewise. So we have to learn and then be aligned with our employer or the kind of ecosystem we are in,
correct.
that helps us shortlist that which platform we must gain more knowledge and then get aligned to.
Yeah.
So that is what is my answer. First thing. Second thing is being a Guju guy, all I believe is there is no point in being with number one, because number one has got its own advantage as well as disadvantage. You go with number two and number three, where there is a hunger for growth, and that is where they will also welcome you and you also be get benefited with it.
Interesting point of view. That's great. That's very nice. So I would also like to add something to this based on what one of my mentors used to say, and you know, so we were in a software company. The guy said, which software should I learn? Should I develop skills in PHP or Python or some other language, Java or something? And he said, all you guys are stupid idiots. You guys should not be worried about the language because languages are similar, right? Fundamentals are the same. The fundamentals across all programming languages are the same.
Yeah.
The only thing that changes is syntax, and for that you have the freaking manual. Now you don't even have a book; you just go to the net, Google it, and it'll tell. Oh, I have to put semicolon here versus like slash over there, and something like that. But
That's absolutely.
but the fundamentals of programming remains the same
Yes.
across.
Yes.
And so therefore you should never have to shy away from okay यार ये नया कुछ language आ गया चल ठीक है सीख लेते क्या है इसमें ऐसा ऐसा लिखना पड़ता है कैसा बच गया so I think if your fundamentals are clear then it doesn't matter what system you adopt because they will be similar in nature type of thing. That's my two-bit two paise addition on that.
Yeah, very true. Well said. I mean, well said. Because the reason is, I mean, uh, you need to start somewhere,
Yeah,
and then I don't recommend that. Okay, fine, go with Hyperledger, because you need to understand the industry adoption of Hyperledger also.
right, right,
Right, the industry adoption in fintech may be different from manufacturing and to healthcare,
right, right,
and then which part of the world you are in, where
right,
your customer is. So there are a lot of variable, I mean, parameters which does not give us a thumb rule answer.
correct.
However, I encourage you to start your journey with Hyperledger.
Okay, great. So you got
Which
your answer. Now go with number two.
go with number two, the player who has got a hunger for growth, and that is what is going to help you elevate yourself faster.
Great. We'll take this one last question and then we'll close. Is that fine? There's one
Yeah,
more.
yeah, yeah. Please, I mean, I'm willing to go for another two also. That's not a challenge.
I think other people may have lunch plans. We already had some people drop off for lunch. Okay. So Bhaskar is just saying thanks, Chintan. So yes.
Thanks, Bhaskar.
There's another last one from Anonymous. Are there any applications being used currently using blockchain technology? He says applications like Bitcoin. I don't know what is he talking
Yes,
about.
so
I'm not.
Bitcoin is one use case. Another one is I would like to refer a company called Bank Chain. Bank Chain is a consortia of around 30 banks,
Okay.
and this is a proud Indian company. Around 30 plus banks are part of this company consortia, and they have used blockchain for inter-branch money transfer.
Okay.
So inter-branch transactions of 30 banks are already on blockchain.
Okay.
So that's a huge use case. As I mentioned earlier, that government is one of the leading adopters of blockchain technology. Uh, In multiple states, the land records are being put on blockchain.
Okay.
Fertilizer subsidies are being distributed using blockchain. uh, Digital degrees. So this is being piloted by a couple of universities, couple of state governments. They are also trying to use blockchain for reconciliation of texts. And last but not the least, blockchain is being used to track COVID medicines.
Ah, interesting. Wow.
So
So this is good. And you know where he can find out more about this if he gets in touch with you on offline?
yeah, definitely. So, any of the use cases, I mean, he would like to have more information on the same. Feel free to reach out. I would be happy to, direct you to the right news item, the right resource, how we can engage with the use case providers or the customers, and likewise. So, I'll be happy to help.
Chintan, you've been fabulous. This has been an awesome session, and let's do some other topics if in the future, maybe if you have some.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be happy to. So I have a couple of other regular modules which I conduct. I mean, recently I delivered a talk on Tech Trends 2021. So
Okay.
this is my sixth year. I prepare one presentation during November and December for Tech Trends for the year ahead.
Okay.
And from December to March, at least around 3.5 months, I delivered this talk to around 20 to 25 various entities, associations, Rotary clubs,
Hmm.
academia, corporates, interest groups, venture capital groups, and
Sign
then
me up
some.
for Jan. For Web Dudes signs you up for Jan 2021. we'll have
Definitely, I would be happy to have a session on this, and then we can have a webinar. So this was a kind of session where it was a Q and A format, but in 2020, I mean Jan 2021, we can have a session on Tech Trends 2021
right.
because that actually helps us understand which are the technologies which are around us
Yes.
and how it would impact our life.
Perfect. Thanks once again, and
Thank you
we'll
so
see you in
much.
the next one.
Thank you so
Take.
much. Have a great day ahead. Bye bye.
Thanks
Thank you.
everybody for coming. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye bye.